Welcome back to Weekend Movie Bros, where it's been a very long time since I've seen you. Now, actually, to be honest with you, it's actually quite a short time compared to our next long hiatus.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very
Which we will get into towards the latter half of the show.
No. We'll get into May. We're not going to talk about till May.
It's a lot.
Well, you are a lot, so it's okay. So, I'm joking. It was a joke.
You looked at the camera and saw me turn.
So we have a lot of different things to cover, including Falcon and Winter Soldier. Fun fact, we will get to cover the whole show. I was a little nervous that we weren't going to be able to, but we should. So how fun and exciting. It's going to be the last show we get to cover. How fun.
Man, yeah. We'll have to wait and cover all of Loki once I'm done.
Okay. But that being said, let's start with something small and sad.
Well, it's sad for Avengers. It's a win for Zoe Saldana. Literally, in any case scenario, she's still the highest paid actress of all time.
Now, but I have one comment to make. One, do I believe China? No.
No.
Two, so I guess I had more than one comment to make. Two, I don't believe any of this should have went towards their total box office. Because I don't think when you put a movie back into theaters, it should go towards the over number towards the box office. So I still would believe Avengers Endgame is the number one movie of all time.
Well, listen here, buddy. I agree with you on some of your points. Full force. I don't know why I'm acting like this. I'm sorry. I agree with you on most of the fronts that you're trying on most of the things you're saying.
Most of the fronts?
Anyway, most of the things you're saying. However, I do disagree with you on the fact that as long as the movie goes back into theaters, it should equate to everything the film has made up to that point. It's still the same movie. It didn't change anything. The only place where I'd have an issue with it is that it was an extra 3D release, whereas Avatar was already a 3D release. Therefore, it just would be the same film. It'd be like if Jurassic Park, when it originally came out in theaters, was not in 3D. A couple years later, they did Jurassic Park 3D. That still went to the overall money box office.
Yes, and so Dune also went to the overall box office that went to the movies. The version of Jurassic Park, which was not in 3D, that I watched earlier this summer.
And it went towards the box office
of
that movie.
Yes.
So why shouldn't Avatar count going towards...
I don't think any of them should count.
Why? It's still the same movie in theaters.
Because it just takes away.
Why?
It takes it away. That's my opinion.
Well, let's all get real here. The real number one film of all time is not Endgame. It's not Titanic.
Yeah, but we don't
it's
judge.
Gone with the Wind.
We don't judge for inflation, and we all know that it's not something we do. I'm talking about Avatar lost. Avatar was salty. The Avatar lost, and so was like, just throw it in China. It only needs $12 million. And
guarantee you, when Black Widow comes out in July, if Disney really wants to, they'll sprinkle an Endgame showing here and there, probably.
Hey, I don't see why not. And then who says that every other movie can't just sprinkle in another little showing?
Depends on the film.
You know, I think
the whole reason Avatar got re-released in theaters to begin with was to, kind of mushel that way that nothing was going on. And of anybody in the world, China was the best place to do it. They had the means and way to do it. We don't at the time currently. They could sustain a bigger portion of audiences that we can't. Of the two sides, China is definitely more in the upkeep when it comes to COVID. We're getting there. Not anymore, but when Avatar had its release, it was there. So therefore, they could hold more people. I personally think you should go toward it. That's just me.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Nurse Story.
This is cool. So one of my favorite games last year was Ghost of Tsushima, one of the best action games on PlayStation 4, period. And now we know that Chad Stahelski is going to be directing the film for Sony. I am very, 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 very worried about this movie for one reason only. And I'm not trying to do this to bring up anything like from the past. It's in the past. I made mistakes. The last time Sony made a film from Japan, it didn't go very well because of, whitewashing. It's just the other way around it. It was whitewashing.
Gotcha.
And Ghost of Tsushima, they already have the perfect actor to play the main character. He plays Scorpion in Mortal Kombat. He's the perfect age. He's done stuff with swords before. He's done horse trading before. It would fit really well. Most of the cast from Mortal Kombat, to be honest, of Chinese descent would work really well in Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think that'd be the case. I really, really, really hope they don't do this because this game is beautiful, rich in Asian culture, and it treats it seriously. And I know Sony, you do great sometimes. You really do. But then there are cases of Ghost in the Shell where you really didn't. And so I'm pessimistic. But hey, it's another video game film with promise in development. And you know what? That's more I can say for most films. Yeah.
I didn't play the game.
Yeah.
I like the director.
You know?
I said I like the director.
Oh, I didn't.
No, I don't like the director. Horrible director. Just god awful. Just kidding. And yeah, no,
The action's going to be cool.
it should be fine. I don't want it to be generic.
That's the other thing I'm worried about.
I have a feeling that Chad Stahelski could be very generic. Not generic in a way, but because we've seen a lot of his different films, they all are very the same.
You know who I wish was directing this? The guy who directed Seven Samurai with Tom Cruise. I think that the director of that really understood the balance of story with the combat. And in that film, it's based off samurai. This entire game is based off a rogue samurai betraying his clan and doing what he has to do to save his land. I think Seven Samurai is a great callback for that. The Last Samurai, sorry, not Seven Samurai. Great film.
I have no idea what.
No, Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
I did not like that film.
I think he would really do well with this.
Can't say I agree because I did not like that film.
I love Last Samurai. It's one of my favorites.
Moving on. John Wick lost the fourth and fifth writer. They do have other writers that are working on it. The main writer who's written all of the previous entries for the film and written the pilot episode for the TV show, The Continental, will not be writing 4 and 5 anymore. Will not be a part of it. So that's a huge creative force.
Yeah.
Because there are big reasons behind, the things.
The things.
How do you feel?
So I think of I don't know. I don't know how you feel about John Wick. I know we've watched most of them together.
I've seen all of them with you.
And do you like the John Wick films? For fun's sake? Okay. I
don't hate them. I just
for me personally,
Derek Kolstad.
Yes. Does this halt production on John Wick 4 and 5 as they continue?
Probably not.
You said it did. You said production halted on John Wick 4
Well,
and 5.
production's already halted because they were still doing stuff for Matrix and stuff.
So, but does this ultimately overall hurt the film for me? Not really, because when you go to John Wick, you don't go. I mean, the world building stuff in John Wick is great, but they do that so well visually, not really with speaking. And so for me, the writing of John Wick has never been the strongest part. For me, it's always been, the revenge tale of John getting from where he is to where we see him at the end of Parabellum. That's the story. It's a visual story with bits of words in it. And to me, it works best that way. So this doesn't hurt me enough. Now, however, they can get a new writer coming in and he writes a great script and I go, wow, they really changed the formula on me. But for right now, doesn't hurt my excitement. Still excited for 4 and 5. I think they should shoot back to back personally. Give them time to breathe. But hey, that's just me.
I don't mind them shooting movies back to back because that means you are guaranteed the sequel. If they give it time to breathe and John Wick 4 does not do well, then they can cancel the sequel, and that means that you set it up for a whole other film that you'll never get to see. So that's a better way to look at that, Zachary.
And that's the pro and con of shooting films back to back. I mean, look at, it's a weird thing to talk about. Look at Infinity War and Endgame. They shot them back to back. What if Infinity War failed? What if it tremendously failed on every scale and level? They spent all that money on a 3-hour film to do nothing with.
But also, here's the thing: they're not spending that much money on John Wick.
No.
So it's
but
okay.
They're still, those people have very, very, very various time now because of COVID, and you don't want to keep them on a set to do back-to-back films just for them to lose that time if the film doesn't do well. You know what I mean?
No, but that's okay.
Okay, whatever.
I don't agree. That's all. Okay. So we're gonna move over into some DC news.
We got this.
It's Some of it's good.
Some of it's fantastic.
Some of it,
Not so much.
not so much.
I just told my brothers earlier, it feels like when DC gets the upper punch, Doomsday comes around and goes, no.
So let's go over to the casting stuff first.
Holy moly.
So there's been a few casting announcements.
A few?
There's been like, I don't know. Four.
We got the remaining cast for Black Adam.
Did we?
Yeah, we got the other 3. And then Flash. And then Flash got its full cast announced along with Barry's mom.
Oh, I don't have those pulled up though.
It should be in the Barry Allen story.
I don't have the Barry Allen story.
Well, Henry Krupp, who was
I knew that.
His father in Justice League, due to conflict issues, was not be able to be in the Flash, so they recasted his dad. But we also have his mom. We know Iris come after Chrissy Clemens from Justice League, which is not shocking. I'm happy she's getting more to do going forward with it. That's exciting. They might have lost a cast member. We could talk about that with this. Gaining cast, losing cast. It's
Ron Livingston
is playing
his dad, which I think he looks a lot like Ezra Miller, so I think that's
it works a little bit better in my opinion.
Nora Allen also got cast, like Zachary said. It's Maribel Verdú, Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know who she plays in it, but that's...
Let me look at her real quick. That is the mother in Pan's Labyrinth.
I don't know. By the way, okay.
She's from the horror division over at Warner Brothers.
Well, I mean, she did. I don't.
Pan's Labyrinth is the horror film.
Yeah, but I don't even think that was produced by Warner Brothers. So, either way, it doesn't really matter. That's it.
Honestly, to me, of the Flash side, the bigger thing in this situation is Michael Keaton. So I didn't know about this. Jacob brought this to my attention. So you kind of describe the situation, what's going on, and I'll kind of bring my input after that.
So Michael Keaton basically has gone around Hollywood a little bit saying that he is not fully committed to returning to Batman because of COVID-19. Which, when this story announced, it was pretty obvious. He's a 70-year-old actor. But here's the thing: they're filming in London, is where the movie's gonna be made. And London is very, very cautious, and so I don't even really think it would have been a problem.
No,
is what my opinion is, because they have so many different things that they have for COVID-19 to protect the actors. Very cautious on the movie sets. The real reason, which is what's making a little bit of rounds, who knows if it's true or not,
has not been confirmed by anybody,
is that his role was horribly diminished in this newest rewrite of the film, and the contract that he signed does not add up with the actual amount of screen time he was supposed to be in the movie, and so he doesn't want to do it anymore because they would cut his pay and do all that fun stuff because he wouldn't be on screen as much. So,
what are your thoughts about that?
Well, my big takeaway from this is does that mean we're not going to do the Batgirl thing? Because if we're not going to do the Batgirl thing, then maybe this wasn't a bad idea.
So here's my
takeaway.
Here's my takeaway from all of this. First off, I'm very happy. I'm happy and still pessimistic about Ezra. I think this past week people are starting to get back in his good graces again. His Flash, I think, is stronger in the Snyder cut over the original cut. Got more to do. He's got the best scene of the entire movie one of the best scenes of the entire film. And I think Warner Brothers, whether they want to admit it or not, are going to look at character aspects going forward off of that movie. Now, whether they follow that film story or not, that's up to them. But they have to, if you're going to continue on with these characters in that form, move on with that kind of direction. Clearly, they don't want to. I think they've realized that relying too much on Michael Keaton as the main focal point of the Flash takes away from the Flash, because it was our main complaint when it was first announced. Then it's not going to be a Flash movie anymore. It's going to be a Flash Batman team up, and that's not what we wanted. We want to see what the Flash did at the end of Justice League, which is the Flashpoint thing, where he goes back in time and you see it all revert. That's what you want to see in Barry's story through that. And now that I've seen this version of Ezra, I kind of think that's the direction they're going to be going. However, I think with Michael Keaton's role decreasing, I think it's not going to be all about, going to these different multiverses and seeing these different people. I think it's going to be Barry's way of trying to fix the multiverse after Justice League. So the basis of the film, I think, is going to be set in the Nightmare era, but not in Snyder's Nightmare, but in a nightmare scenario of where something bad went wrong and Barry has to go back in time to fix it, and he gets stuck in a multiverse for like a couple minutes with him. Gets back to the main timeline, sees Ben, all that kind of stuff. That's what I think is going to happen.
I don't agree with that. And the only reason why I don't agree with that, which we'll get to, is the fact that I really think even though they're continuing on with this said character, in my personal opinion, if you're going to do a Flash movie, you should stop production before it begins, because they haven't started yet, and recast everybody and throw this on HBO Max. If we're continuing on the Snyderverse, that's my personal opinion. And that goes with everything going forward with the Snyderverse, because I think it just makes it more confusing. In my opinion, it makes it just a little bit more confusing with keeping them all out onto like the bigger screen or whatever. But for this specific story, I don't really know. I didn't really care. I don't think this movie is coming together really nicely.
No, it's not.
So maybe it's better this way.
Also, maybe Keaton's realizing that the film's not going the way he thought it was. The plan they had for it was not going the way he thought it was originally, and maybe he's just not happy with how they're going to do his Batman, and that's completely fine. His Batman is sacred to people. He doesn't want to ruin that for people who know his character. Also, we talked about when he was also announced. His Batman was from '89. There are certain people like you and me who know what that means. Kids going into the theater to watch this movie are going to have no idea what that means at all.
But that's also, I guess, okay if that's the case. I don't know. It's a
whole thing.
It's a here or there for me. Also, side note on a few other casting announcements that I just see here in the corner. Disenchanted, which is the sequel to Enchanted with Amy Adams, will bring back James Marsden and Idina Menzel, which is pretty cool. And both Captain Marvel 2 and Ant-Man and the Wasp starts filming in May, which is also pretty cool.
That's exciting.
Back to DC casting, though. The next thing we need to talk about is Black Adam.
Yep.
Black Adam, I think, finished off, like Zachary said, their slate.
Their cast is complete.
Their last person they officially announced was Dr. Fate, and that person will be played by no other than Pierce Bronson. And I have to say, on a side note, I think before we jump into it, if we're going to jump into it, we don't have to, whatever, because this is who they decide to go with, and that's fine. I think he's perfect for the character that he was chosen for. Mm-hmm. It's like almost like it's like the perfect casting.
He works.
Well, he looks just like the actual
character
in the comics. The problem that it runs into, and really it's not even like a problem itself, is that we were all kind of hoping for this one to be race bended, so it wasn't another. It's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. It is what it is. The other people who were cast, and Zachary, you can give your opinion as well, what you feel, are Sarah Shawley as Isis. Thank you. Well, that's a bad name, but okay. That's already been announced. Quintus Sowell as Cyclone. And Marlon Kanzari, which is the person, we don't know who he's playing because he's the villain, but he is the big bad of the film. He is he's Aladdin. He's a bad guy in Aladdin, Jafar.
He's Jafar, yeah.
And the Old Guard, which he was phenomenal in.
He's great in Old Guard.
Yeah, so
Old Guard's a great movie. Go watch Old Guard.
You can watch it with us.
Yeah, we watched it. So, how do I tread this lightly? I personally will feel that of all the stories coming out of, casting of this person in this role, in that sense, is this. Of all of them, I think this one's getting too much of a hubbub.
No, I mean, I
think it's being overblown. I think of most castings personally, because I think of all of them, it was more challenging because you saw the person's face and you could see clearly that's not the ethnicity that the character is. The one upside they have on Dr. Fate's side is that the man never takes off the helmet. All you ever see is his hands. And if Pierce, now I'm not saying this is how they should go further at all, but if Pierce Brosnan wanted to get his hands like legit tanned, I know he wouldn't, but you know what I mean, though.
No. That's just a horrible idea. Let's put a note to that one.
Anyway, I don't think they have as big as a problem with this over, any other racial bend casting has been having issues with. We also have to remember, Adam is an Egyptian character, and everyone's been very, vocally okay with Dwayne Johnson doing it. Obviously, Dwayne Johnson, I think, is the most involved actor in any production that he is. So clearly, I don't think he would have been in that area of choosing Pierce if it wasn't for a good reason.
No, once again, I think they just went with comics accurate. There's nothing wrong with that. Dr. Fate is a white character. There's nothing wrong with putting a white actor in. All I'm saying is that the problem I had, not even a problem that I had with it, was the fact that the only person who's actually Egyptian is the villain in the movie. That was my only problem. And Dr. Fate would be a nice one. You don't really see the face or whatever. So if they race bended it wouldn't matter. But
Right.
They didn't, and so it's not a problem. That's all.
I think people also forget that Dr. Fate is the Egyptian part. The guy in the suit is a white guy. I think everybody always forgets that. Like they instantly go, Dr. Fate's the Egyptian. No, the man in the helmet, the man under the helmet is a white.
Yeah.
The people he's personifying.
Yeah, that's sure. Yes. No. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
I also want to say one thing about this movie. The last thing I'm saying, if they make him change his name to Shazadam, I'm going to be very mad.
They're not going to.
It's a stupid name.
They're not going to.
This is cool.
So Shazam! Fury of Gods also is rounding out its sequel casting by casting Helen Mirren to play Hesperia. Hesperia, by the way, is one of three sisters. There was another casting that was announced last 2 weeks ago, who was an unknown. Well, she was kind of known actress. I couldn't tell you who it was, but her character was unannounced. Yeah, I know. Can you hear? Her character was unannounced, but we're pretty sure she's going to play the other sister. Now, the characters that she's playing, like Hesperia, has never been in the comics whatsoever. This is completely new, which means that the director, I can't think of his name, Sandberg.
Adam Sandberg.
No, Zachary. David F. Sandberg.
Sandberg.
They get to play around with something new entirely, and so that's pretty cool.
I think that's the strongest part for Shazam is that of any DC film coming out, it has the most room to run. It's not really connected. It's loosely connected to more of the DCEU, but he's on his own. He has got nothing really connecting him to the other half of DC. Because let's be honest, Shazam came out after Justice League. Why didn't Shazam show up at all in Justice League? Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? He's not really attached to it. Therefore, they can really open reign, do whatever they want. And personally, I'm all for it. I love Shazam. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite otherworldly DC movies. It's funny. I think that's awesome. There's also some extra casting in here, right there, number one, from Deadline. John Hamm has been cast as Iron Man in the MODOK series on Hulu. He'll be a guest star as a more whiffy Tony Stark and MODOK. The more I hear about that MODOK show, the more I'm getting more excited for it. It sounds fun. Patton Oswalt is a claymation MODOK doing The Office. Sounds fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, did you see that for Godzilla?
Yeah.
Nears 50 million in China.
Either way. Okay. So that was really cool. It's a fun little thing.
I'm happy. And you know what? We got a female playing the villain. I think that's cool.
It's Helen Mirren.
She'll be terrifying, probably.
Who I adore. I have a feeling that it was probably Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson who probably talked her into doing it. Mm-hmm. But that's perfectly fine. I think she's a great.
Do you think she'll survive then? Because maybe she'll meet Adam.
I don't know.
Maybe she'll team up with Adam.
I don't know. I have no idea. Another thing that was announced. Now, this is not a casting announcement, but this is a writing announcement. It also confirmed a few things, and that is Satana got its writer, which is Emerald Fennell. Now, a lot of people' biggest question when she was announced is that she was not announced as director. She's never had a big splashy film like this. So more than likely, what they're probably gonna have her do is follow the director around on set so she can learn, and then probably she'll get a different superhero movie off of this if this does really well. All depending on if it does well.
If this
Also-
does really well, Justice League Dark.
Well, also confirmed is that Justice League Dark will be getting all standalone movies and then coming together as a team up instead of doing what they originally were going to do.
Which I think is a better idea.
J.J. Abrams is behind this. J.J. Abrams is going to be behind everything. Constantine has been race bended. That was one of the other announcements. He is going to be played by I think he's going to be a black character now instead, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is cool because in comic continuity, Constantine can change his appearance anytime he wants. He can be in order to adapt to where he wants to go. So in comic continuity, it makes sense. He's able to do it.
Plus, also, Fennell, which is now nominated for Oscars, Golden Globes, BAFTAs, and so it's a big name coming on
for this project.
To get for the project. It's also, and a lot of people are really looking forward to Satana. She's a really fan favorite character. I'm not really surprised she's getting her own movie.
Where's it gonna go?
I don't know.
That's the big question with this, with the whole Justice League Dark situation. Where's it gonna go? Are they gonna make Justice League Dark the HBO Max thing, or are they gonna make this? I really think it's a tie between Justice League and Justice League Dark. Which one's gonna get HBO Max first? I know Zach got there first, but would Justice League Dark take that?
No, I don't. I think Justice League Dark is just going to be another part of the multiverse. Just another little section of the little world that we're going to get to play around in a movie form.
You know what I'm happy to say about DC, honestly, about everything? Unlike Marvel, so far it feels like they get the multiverse, like they understand how it works and how it functions of both companies. Because just look at your posters here, for example. You've got the DCU continuity with Suicide Squad.
Sure.
You've got the Elseworlds story over there with Joaquin and Joker.
Sure.
We got Pattinson coming out next year with his Elseworlds story in the Batman.
Sure.
We've got the Justice League Dark continuity coming around for their run.
Sure.
And then we possibly have the continuation of the Snyderverse.
Sure.
Possibly. But you know what? It's all still good DC content.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to overlap. It all occasionally they say, hey, that person's from the other universe. Okay, cool. Moving on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
Batman could show up in Justice League Dark and say, I'm the Batman. I'm like, okay, cool. And move away.
I don't know. I don't know. I personally, the whole multiverse stuff for DC just is, to me, personal opinion, is more annoying than the Marvel multiverse that they're getting into. Marvel's doing it with the creative side. Sure, Kevin Feige's like, I can hire who I want. Yeah, sure, there's an element of that, obviously, but it's definitely much more of a story-based element that they're like, we want to do this, so we're going to do this. Whereas DC is like, we don't know what we're doing, so we're going to decide that this is a multiverse. We're building a multiverse. And the problem with doing that, not from a creative standpoint, with a creative standpoint, that's a whole, we're getting Batman, with Robert Pattinson, which is a creative idea. We got Joker, with Joaquin Phoenix.
We got Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, but that doesn't really technically count because that was before they decided to move over into this idea of doing the multiverse. I'm very happy we got that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that technically with the, the newer stories that they're trying to tell is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember what I was saying.
But here's the other thing. The last three. Sorry, go.
The last thing I wanted to mention is from a business standpoint, it's not the smartest angle just because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I don't really want to see that. And there's no integrity to do it. So I'm just going to skip it because I'm not missing anything to whatever the next DC film is going to be. That's the only downside of doing a multiverse story. That's not like a Marvel multiverse story where it's like, oh, these three films are connected and somehow tie into the huge overarching story. There is no overarching thing to so far.
Yeah.
They've not come up with one. They haven't given us one, I should say, where all these are going to come together and it's going to be one big gigantic story. You know what I mean? There's no crossover, I should say. And it's a little disappointing. I don't know. It feels like it's being used just because they don't know what they're doing. And so like, we're going to do this. You don't have to agree.
I don't agree. But I mean, it's like talking about Harley again, for example. You know, Suicide Squad 2016, part of the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on here. I don't know why it's not on here, Jacob. The Suicide Squad trailer dropped. And that's got Harley Quinn. Same actress playing Harley, completely different thing.
No, they're connected. It's a direct sequel.
That's never been said.
Yeah, it's
set in the 1970s.
It's not.
Yes,
No,
it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. His Suicide Squad is set in the 70s.
I'm Googling it. If Google allows me. Google, are you going to work? I don't know.
They have said it's a reboot.
I'm looking.
Right there.
Hold on. Because it can be compared to a gritty 1970s film, it does not mean it's actually set in the 70s. Two different things. Have Ari Grace screen and movie did well enough that Warner Bros. Commissioned a reboot due to 2021, the one titled Not exactly. The Suicide Squad is not a sequel to the 2016 movie, as producer posted on comic book in April 2019, but it's not completely not a sequel either, as there will be some returning actors from the AR movie. This is fitting DC YZR approach to continuity ever since Justice League yeah, that's essentially what it is. Films like Aquaman and Shazam have notably existed in DCU, but largely exist on their own. Harley Quinn was also technically a sequel to Suicide Squad, but it's like a side-off story. Yeah, it's a sequel, Zachary.
No, I'm going off what they said. And
I'm reading.
I know, but they said reboot.
I don't know what else do you want from me.
They said reboot.
They said it's a kind of sequel because it's not a direct sequel because not all the characters are coming back, so it's not like a direct sequel.
I'm considering it a reboot because the trailer we saw yesterday looked like nothing from the other one we saw at all. They look drastically different.
Well, I'm not going to count it as a reboot. I'm going to say it's set in the same world, just not she's the same Harley who we've seen for the previous two films.
So
it's
then
just the truth.
Then where do their movies lie then?
What do you mean? This lies after.
Is this part of the Snyderverse? Is this DCEU?
Yeah.
Would you really count Birds of Prey as a DCU movie?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's Harley Quinn. Yeah.
I don't.
Well, that's your choice, but it is. I don't.
And personally, I feel as though DC's going in the right direction and keeping them R. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, on that one, we're gonna have to wait until we see something more for Snyder, but not Snyder, for Suicide Squad particularly. I'm not totally sold on the radar for Suicide Squad yet. I don't want it just to be radar for the really hard R jokes.
No, we talked about that.
Yeah. So that's just that.
What it was hard for me to get with you in the DC stuff. I think that's why we get aggravated with so much each other. Is that I know you love it, like you love a lot of the elements inside the DC universe that they're doing, but it also seems like you don't get what they're doing either. Like you love what they're doing, but don't get why they're doing the way they're doing it. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't understand your overall feeling of DC. I know you like it, but I don't know because every time we talk about it, you seem down about it. You don't like talking about DC. But when we talk about Marvel, you're all cheery and happy. It's all get go.
Well, yeah, it's easier to follow. I mean, Sounds complicated.
I don't think DC's complicated.
DC's extremely complicated.
Not to me. And personally, why would you want the two biggest comic book universes in cinema right now to do the same thing?
No, I mean, here's okay. We're gonna mention it. We're going over there anyways. I personally strongly believe one thing, okay? And Zack Snyder, Justice League, proved me completely right. And that is Warner Brothers blinked.
Yes.
Okay? Hold on, let me finish.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, but just let me finish. Warner Brothers blinked, pulled what they had, what was greatness. Okay? They fucked up real bad. It's essentially.
This is the first podcast since seen the movie, Jacob.
Okay,
go for it. Go nuts.
They fucked up badly. They had every story set up except for Cyborg, but Cyborg is moving on with the Flash, so it didn't really matter. And if they would have just continued down the line, they were doing things differently. I mean, they went from one team-up movie to another team-up movie. Marvel doesn't do that. But the story itself stayed the same. It was self-contained. It wasn't confusing. Even if they put Suicide Squad, the one that Zachary does not like, in there, it still made sense.
It made sense.
Very much fit into the world. It didn't matter. And it brought in a few extra characters that could play along later on. That was the problem. They blinked. They fucked up. They didn't know how to fix their fuck up. So they're like, we're going to start doing random ass stories. Okay? Not a problem. Once again, we got Joker. Okay? We wouldn't have gotten Joker at all. If this blink didn't happen. But it brought up a huge issue. And that is the fact that, like, for instance, Wonder Woman 1984, great example, it was a pointless film. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. There was just no point to it. It didn't add anything to the story. It brought in Cheetah, but did it really bring in Cheetah? There was no point to it, okay? And that's what I'm afraid of, that all these different, like, little side-off stories that they're going to be doing are going to have 0 point, and I'm not going to care. All right, I'm really excited to see, like, Satana come to life. Justice League Dark, they're very cool, very dark, very nice. But what's the point? With Zack Snyder, with his vision, there was a point. There was an idea. There was something big. And now, there's nothing. That's my opinion on DC, is that they have nothing. I'm excited for the Batman, but how excited can I get for knowing that it's not going to lead to anything? Whereas Marvel, because you asked me why I got excited about Marvel, over here in the corner, because Marvel, it builds. I know every story that I watch from Marvel has an overarching leading to something bigger. I cannot say the same thing to DC. We're not building up to, like, the next...
No.
I'm going to say it, but, like... the next Avengers movie, okay? So this one would be like the next Justice League movie. We're not doing that. And so I get excited, but I can't get, like, super duper excited.
Okay.
If that makes any sense at all.
That actually makes a lot more sense now. I never understood your thing with it, but that makes a lot of sense. You know, you like the stories moving forward. The
also,
you like the consistency with it, and that's fine.
Well, also,
consistency.
From a business standpoint, because I look at it both, because I do. Mm-hmm. From a business standpoint, going with Zack Snyder's Snyderverse, which we all want, literally, the world wants, just do it. It's fine. Going with that
makes the most sense.
Commercially, will make the most sense because.
Well, I could also rebut against that because I did 3 films of Zack Snyder's continuity in theaters, and even altogether, it still didn't equate how much the MCU has made.
Well, I mean, that's 3 films compared to 21 films. So, yeah, I mean, logically, that wouldn't make sense.
But Batman vs. Superman should have been a $1 billion film.
It doesn't matter. It still made $800 million.
Justice League.
Justice League.
$1 billion movie.
Justice League would have been $1 billion movie if we would have got what we wanted. There's a difference. Justice League blinked. We can't judge Justice League.
And we also have to remember that the DCEU, even though I think Man of Steel is a masterpiece, a lot of people, including the person sitting right next to me, did not particularly like the way. But
what I'm trying to say, okay, is most people would like to follow a linear story, like chapters, like Marvel gives us. Mm-hmm. That's why Marvel films can make $1 billion, because people are anticipating what's the next big move.
Right.
You cannot do that with the DCEU. It's impossible.
Batman did it.
What do you mean?
Christopher Nolan.
I'm not talking about Chris. I'm talking about these movies that are coming out. What's the point of Aquaman 2 when he's never going to join back up with the Justice League?
To get another story with Arthur?
Yeah, but what's the point?
That's the point.
No. What's the bigger point?
There doesn't need to be a bigger point. There doesn't need to be a bigger bat at the end of the tunnel. I've been seeing this a lot lately. I mean, we got the Monsterverse, we got the DCEU, we got the MCU, we've got Harry Potter doing it now, we got Star Wars. All of these big things.
You mean franchises?
Yes, all have to lead to something. Back when we were kids, we didn't really care where Iron Man was going. We didn't care where Batman was ultimately leading to. We just knew we were getting a Spider-Man, Batman, or Star Wars movie and just enjoying the ride. That's why I love Joker so much. That's why I'm looking forward to Matt Reeves' Batman. Because yes, even though they might continue, I get to have time with that character again. Whether that leads to something bigger or not, that doesn't bother me anymore. I got that with the MCU. I got my Infinity Saga from beginning to end. That is a story. Whereas with DCEU, they fucked up. You said it bluntly and truthfully. It's the truth. They fucked up. If they would have just listened to what Zack wanted to do, let him take his time to breathe, come back and finish this movie, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's just a plain point. But they didn't. Instead, they went the direction they did. And I am fully ready to commit to that direction they're doing because I want to see what they want to do with these characters. Suicide Squad, I hate that movie with a passion. That movie sucks to me. But this new one looks interesting, fascinating. The characters they picked. Your King Shark, he would never fit in that movie.
Yeah, he would.
He would seem off.
I don't think so.
Him and Killer Croc in the same film, they wouldn't mix together.
No, I mean he would have been Killer Croc.
Yeah,
which would have been fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that was a bad one. But
it's fine.
Like you said, we wouldn't have got Joker if Justice League wasn't the way it went. But we're both happy that Joker happened. That was a standalone story about a character that you and I both love, and we got more out of him. Not every franchise has to lead to a big bad or a big.
All I'm trying to say, that's a great opinion. Happy you have it.
I miss standalone stuff.
I don't at all. Because here's the thing. There's lots of movies, lots of television shows. I read a lot. I contain a lot of entertainment inside my body on a daily basis.
Yes, he does.
Okay? So when choosing between a random film that's like not going to lead anywhere and choosing a film in something I'm really, really excited to see where they're headed, I will always choose the latter than the non. Because and this is simply how I look at things. You're completely different, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah. That's why I love our basis of movie is that it works for us when we pick films too.
I don't see a point of wasting 2.5 hours of my life, even if I end up thinking it's a masterpiece, okay? And I'm not saying that the 3 times that I saw Joker in theaters, I wasted any part of my life. Even though one could argue that's exactly what I'm saying. So, just want to put that out there. Because I do believe it's a masterpiece. I have nothing wrong with that film. I will forever be thankful that film exists, okay? Just want to put that one out there in the world. But my point being, I would much prefer to spend 2.5 hours of my life, such as like Infinity War, Endgame, or any Marvel movie you can think of, 2.5 hours of my life knowing that I'm going somewhere. Because that to me is much more fascinating and I feel like my time is more worth spent. Okay? Now, there is obviously the great exceptions. Joker, to me, even if it wasn't a DCE film, I would account as an Oscar contender. Oscar contenders are completely different to me than like a normal, like a franchise film, okay? 2 different entities, in my opinion. Now they're kind of meshing, which is kind of weird, but like it's 2 different entities. So even in my brain, I can even count Joker as like an Oscar film, Sure, there's DC elements in it, but it's really at the standard base of someone trying to deal with mental health and trying to figure out the world they live in because the world they live in is shit. It's not really, a DC film. It is, but you get my point here. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Whereas a film like The Batman that's coming out, sorry, Robert Pattinson, I don't feel like it's going to be an Oscar contender.
No.
We could totally be wrong. I am open.
I fully agree with you.
I am open. I don't think in today's society and the way the world works today and how we
live in a society.
Stop it. how we are built up or whatever for movies in general. Christopher Nolan's Batman, I don't think it would have done as well today as it did back in 2008. Three? No.
2008 was Dark Knight.
So 2006?
2005.
Somewhere around there. Okay, that was a different time. That was a completely different era. But that was before all of this. That was before the world we live in. Because that Batman, Christian Bale's Batman, would eventually had to lead into something else. It could not just be a Batman story. Hold on. I see that look. Just because as a viewer, and we can all agree, I would have loved to see that Batman experience something else. Done a little bit more. We can all agree the first and third one are questionable films.
No, the third one's a questionable film.
The first and third one are questionable films. The second one is a masterpiece. Well, the similarity. What is there? What is that? That would be Joker. I don't know where I'm going with this. My point being is that I'd much prefer to see overarching bigger than smaller standalone.
That's fine. My other question for you in that statement is this.
Sure.
How do you expect movie theaters to thrive if all they worry about is movie franchises? And there's for you love indie movies. How do you expect those films to go and meet people when all people care about are your Suicide Squads and your Justice Leagues, and they never even get mentioned in the talks?
Well, here's the thing. They don't. Not even today. So they're doing just fine.
Look at a film like Tenet. If Tenet came out in a non-COVID year last year, I guarantee that movie would have done great.
But
that is a standalone film.
Tenet is completely different.
How?
One, I feel bad that I wasted 2 times of my life on that one. But Tenet is directed by Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is a big class name.
That I don't get.
That's perfectly fine.
I don't get that.
That's perfectly fine. I'm talking we're talking about if we're talking about just like a random viewer, okay?
Yeah.
Why did you want to see Tenet? When Tenet, no. When it first got announced, when it was first announced.
No, I'm not talking about us.
No, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about, and I'm just gauging like a general population. Why do you think people would want?
Who in general population gives 2 shits about who's directing a movie?
A lot of people.
Okay.
Honestly, a lot of people care because Christopher Nolan directed that film. A lot of people saw that film because Christopher Nolan directed that film. Because of The Dark Knight and Inception and movies that made him famous.
Yes. I will reiterate, those are all standalone films with nothing connecting them.
The Dark Knight has 2 other movies connecting them.
You know what I mean, though? It's not like an overarching thing with all those films putting together.
I don't understand what you're saying.
What I'm trying to get at with, so I understand where you're coming from. You don't, you appreciate the standalone film in some degree, but you much prefer when a story continues on after the fact with another film. That's what I'm gauging at with, correct?
Yeah.
In a nutshell?
Sure.
Okay. What I am worried about going in after this year, in the 2022 specifically, because 2021 is everywhere in bags and biggles. It's just everywhere. In 2022, I want to see movie theaters thrive again.
Sure.
As much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally don't believe that they can solely rely on a Marvel, DC, or Star Wars project every single time. You cannot fill 14 theaters with 3 separate movies and expect to make all your money. I don't think you can. You need some kind of palate cleanser. And just seeing, no offense to any of these projects, it's all the same thing. There's a hero, there's a villain, there's a point, and there's a point B. I need a palate cleanser. I need something that's different from all that. And you don't get that with franchise movies. They're always the same. There's a point A, point B, villain, hero, sidekick, conflict resolution. I want a different movie. I want something like David Fincher's Seven. I want something like Galaxy Quest.
Okay,
films that won't be able to get anything because all is this franchise.
No, that's great. Okay, but those don't do well.
I knew you were going to bring up money.
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? You simply brought up we want theaters to thrive, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what would do well out of all those things you talked about?
I know it will do well.
Okay. So, are you
They
understanding
don't
my point
know-
here?
Yes, but whereas you get excited for it. For me, if I go see the same damn movie except it's set in space, Gotham City, or New York, it's gonna get boring after a while.
I mean, you've been doing it for how old are you? 25?
Yes, but it's the same concept though every time. That's why the MCU to me, granted, WandaVision and Falcon have been great. What are they gonna do?
What do you mean?
What are they physically gonna do? They don't have anything. They don't have anything. Your big thing is you want to connecting to lead to something. The only thing they're leading right now is to a multiverse thing. Is that big? Sure, but that's not a big bad though.
No, you're right. And there's some other stuff as well.
That no one's going to talk about for a while. Not until Fantastic Four comes out. And that's a whole other thing.
I'm so confused by this conversation.
I want these...
What is your... Okay, I know what this is. I know what this is. I know what this is. I know what this conversation is. This is the conversation we have every single day. He wants creative over control.
No.
No.
Do not put words in my mouth.
This is what you say every single time. You would
Then
much
let me-
prefer a
then let me
creative...
say it myself. I want creative control.
You don't get
to
mad at
be-
me. You can say it yourself.
I'm sorry. I want creative control where it can be. I understand that it can't be that every time. And that sucks to me because you're then it's Zack Snyder all over again. And after reading what happened to him, I am more on the side of the creative over the side of the control. And I want the creative to be able to flourish and be more. And with the control, it's the key thing, it's the important thing, and you bring it up every time. And even if I hate it or not, it's the truth. Hollywood runs on money.
Yes.
They don't have any money right now.
Yes.
At all.
Yes.
Therefore, you need to thrive on what you've got.
Yes.
And I got that.
Finally.
I understand.
Cracked him.
I understand that.
Are you sure?
Yes. But I'm really, really hoping
And
that if after everything is said and done, and we get to a point where Hollywood can be okay again in a fraction, that I get to see a Joker or a Seven come back into a theater again. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, technically, we're going to assume the Batman could be a Joker, so you're going to get to see that next year.
No, not a superhero, epic Star Wars, whatever film. A normal film.
Yeah,
okay.
We could go see, what is that called? There was one that I was going to go see just the other day.
Chaos Walking?
No, that's more supernatural. That's not what you really want. No, there was just a normal generic whatever, blah blah blah.
The Courier.
Yeah, sure. The Courier. I have no desire to see that, but if that's what you want, that's the food you want to eat. Go eat it. They still make those movies that great. I don't know what you're complaining about.
They make them, yes, but it's not the focal point of a theater.
Because they're not going to sell. I mean, that's what it comes down to is money.
I know.
Okay? They don't sell.
Hey,
you can look at all
everything you said in
I know.
show.
I know. Okay? But you have to have the end game to get the Courier. The Courier did not exist unless the end game exists because they can't afford movies such as the Courier unless they have a movie like Endgame. So if DC turns into a bunch of Couriers, then they're not going to be able to afford it, which means DC is going to die. I'm trying to make sure DC doesn't die.
No, and I don't want that either.
Are you sure?
I don't want that to happen, but I also don't want the control to do what they did again.
I get that.
I don't want a Fantastic Four situation with Josh Trank. I don't want another Zack Snyder's Justice League situation again. We have to get to this point for it to happen. That's what I'm nervous about. And Warner Brothers, whether I like their company or films or not, do not do this well. Neither does Disney. Neither of them do. And
I mean, Disney.
Warner Brothers does not.
Yeah, I think that's much more.
Warner fucked up.
Warner blames a lot more.
Warner fucked up all year last year.
All year? What movies came out last year?
No, the whole HBO Max situation of putting their films without telling anybody about it.
Yeah, no, they blink a lot.
Yeah, they do. And it sucks because then it's hard for me to get excited for their DC stuff because I don't know what they're doing. and that's how you feel. But if you're gonna blink into something original.
Sure, but okay, that's fine. And I get what you're saying. I personally, I'm on the standpoint that if they're not moving forward, which is what we can talk about,
Hey, nice fluid entry into that conversation.
I mean, it's the same conversation we've been having.
Yeah.
But if they're not continuing forward with the Snyderverse at all, which has not been confirmed, HBO Max is still on the line. But if they're not continuing forward with it at all, then they should cancel every project that has a character that he made.
I agree.
They should start over. Reboot that shit. Start over. If you start over and you're like the Batman by Robert Pattinson,
perfect right now to do it this way if they want to do it.
If they start over and they're like Robert Pattinson's the Batman is going to be the story that we're taking off of, and every DC story, like whatever Wonder Woman is in his world.
Instead of Superman and Wonder Woman are in there as Halloween costumes, so obviously they exist in the world.
They exist in the world. So if that's what we're gonna do, that's what you should do. That's my opinion on the situation. Yes. The Flash should be canceled. Aquaman 2 should be canceled.
All of it.
All of it should be canceled. All the spin-offs, all the TV shows, whole 9 yards. I'm not talking about like Satana or anything like that. That's a totally different entity, and they said they're going to do multiverse. So let them try at their hands. The Suicide Squad should be the last one and call it quits.
It really should.
That's my opinion
on it. Peacemaker then?
Cancel it. It's not even being filmed yet. Go ahead, take it off board. Does not need to happen.
On a super fucking happier note, can we just talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League for a few minutes?
I mean, I don't really have anything. I told you I don't have anything to say on this. This is why I was going to give it to you.
Not a review, Jacob. You finally, Jacob, it's been 3 weeks since we watched.
No, it hasn't.
No, it's been a week.
Yeah.
It's been a week
there
since
we go.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. But it's been 3 weeks since we talked to our people. Talk about it.
I don't have anything to say about it.
Are you happy with the end result?
Yeah, I mean, you can watch my whole experience. It's 4 hours long. What else do they want from me, Zachary?
Let them, it's been a week.
Yeah.
Has it sat with you? What's your feeling?
No, it hasn't sat with me.
That's not good.
I'm sorry. What else do you want me to say? Yes, there's a few moments that
was really funny. That's not good.
There's a few moments, yeah, sure, that have been like, oh, that's back there. But like, that's about it. That's like, oh, they're back there. Like the Wonder Woman scene. That's back there. But
can I ask you a question? Why are you so hell-bent on getting this finished?
Because the idea is so good, and I want to know. And I know what was supposed to happen, and I want to see that. Okay? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Now, would I have been more curious back in 2016, 2017, whatever year that was, when it was going to get released? Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I didn't like that. I mean, I liked Batman vs. Superman, the original version. I thought that film was perfect. Batman vs. Superman, whatever you wanted me to watch, was not perfect. And so, yeah, I agree. And see, okay. The good thing, all right, we're going to talk about. You're welcome. Man of Steel, I don't like.
Oh boy, here we go.
You asked me. We're getting into it.
Let's do it.
Man of Steel, I did not like. Man of Steel is trash. I'm sorry. Deal with it. Move on. Okay? Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition is trash. Deal with it. Move on. Batman vs. Superman non-Ultimate Edition is not trash. Deal with it. Move on. But what do those things?
It's perfect, though. The regular cut of BVS, honest to God, you would say is perfect.
Well, yes, I like some. I don't like being spoon-fed. Some people do.
Is that why Justice League sat with you? Because it's spoon-fed a lot of information?
I'm getting there. Hold on.
Okay.
Someone jump ahead, you ass. Okay. It's just the truth. Shut up. But what do they have in common? What do they have in common? What do they have in common? What? They're connected. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Okay, then we take 2 detours. 2 detours. We took 2 detours. Suicide Squad was a detour. It was an interesting detour, but we took it. Wonder Woman was a well, actually, I've grown to really like the ending of Wonder Woman, to be honest with you.
Justice League makes me like it a little bit more, to be
honest.
Like
the VFX, like bullshit, whatever that ending was, I kind of like it, but it was technically connected.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. So it is a side, it's like a little stinger there, which seems to be all Wonder Woman movies. Maybe Patty Jenkins really shouldn't control this.
No.
Okay, we're getting off topic. Okay, but what did Batman vs. Superman directly lead into?
Not the film we got in 2017.
I can't judge that.
You will tomorrow.
Don't talk about it. Okay, the Snyderverse. It directly went into Zack Snyder's Justice League, correct?
That did, yes.
Back up. You're going to blow people's eardrums.
That did, yes.
Back up. Why do you feel like you have to be right here?
Because it makes it more emotional. I'm more invested in the project.
Yeah, but like it literally blows people's eardrums. There you go. So, okay, they're all connected, right?
Right.
It's beautiful. Okay, Man of Steel is trash. Man of Steel is Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's no longer trash.
It makes it, it's always been good, but it makes it
No, it was never good. But
makes it better though.
But I would actually say that's a great film. But not until I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. It took Zack Snyder's Justice League. I want to make sure everybody out there hears it very loud and clear. It took that, not that clear. It took that film for me to like that film, okay? Now, if we were just going off of what Zachary was saying, random little films out there, in the universe, not connected, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, who cares? I don't even think I would enjoy Zack Snyder's Justice League if they weren't connected. And that's an honest truth. Which makes me, because I'm a connector, I want the rest. I want the Batman movie that was set up. I want the Wonder Woman movie that was set up. Please, just give it to me. I want it now.
Let's say this together. Zack Snyder, please direct.
No, you don't even have to direct it. Just be a very, very big force on set.
But see, that's where we get into my problems.
No, yeah, whatever.
What?
Whatever.
What?
Gotta ruin all the fun.
No, wait, whoa. What happened? What did I say?
You know what you said.
Do I want Snyder to to overlook it? Yes.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I want him to be the Feige that he was born and meant to be.
Obviously. And here's the thing. I can say 1,000 different things. Zack Snyder decided to make so many changes with Justice League and the way characters are, whole 9 yards in that film. There's so many things that don't even exist in the...
Jacob, you don't know.
I mean, I do know. In the DC that don't exist that he decided we're gonna do. And you know what? I am perfectly A-okay with all of these. And that says a lot. We have Marvel, which is all like, stick to the books. Almost a little too much. And then we have what I thought was going to be the DCU. Don't stick to the books. And I was like, yeah, let's not. Let's figure out what these new and original creative stories are. Yeah. But hold on, in a order, like in a franchise where it connects one to another, but they all can be creative.
See, that doesn't bother me.
That's what we just had this whole conversation, and it really did bother you.
It doesn't bother me if original ideas come within that connected universe. I just also hope we get original ideas outside of our connected universe. That's all I'm saying.
They do. The Courier. We talked about it. Let's move on.
I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I've watched it 3 times. Twice in regular color, once in black and white. Never doing that again. You need to see Darkseid's Unibeams in full color, not in white.
All right, we're gonna now discuss some stuff that is a little bit bad.
Just chug in.
I'm
here with you, buddy.
I'm just gonna say it all, and then we're just gonna move on. Does that sound better? Huh? Can I just play it all out there, and then we can just retract?
Would you want me to do it? Because you seem kind of tense, and this might make you more tense.
No. I got this. Or I'm not reading it. I'm just saying. It's just if I need to.
Here, I'll read the black. You.
No, we're not reading the interview. No, that's way too long, Zachary. This goes on.
I'm not saying that. Jacob, in Variety, did they say they would continue with Justice League? Yes or no?
Hold on. Don't. Just let my brain do my brain.
I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, you can be a part of this. That's why I said if you have any full-fledged opinions, just flesh them out.
Okay.
Just jump on in there.
Go.
Attack it.
Go.
Okay. So, and snore off. Yes, I said snore off. You deserved it.
Her name. She doesn't give enough sleep, apparently.
It's actually Sarnoff. I changed it to snore off.
She doesn't give 2 shits.
Yep. So basically, she sat down Variety to kind of shut down Zack Snyder's. Well, this was directly to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League and she specifically said that they have no plans theatrically, key words here. You have to pay attention to the words. Theatrically not continuing on with it at all. That they're hoping that the 4-hour cut that we got would satisfy the fans. Well, it didn't. I'm gonna.
Whoa. It satisfied them in a way.
It just brought up a whole other problem for them.
Not over 24 hours.
Not us. It didn't bring up a problem for us. We just get wins. Like ultimately, we can have conversations about this. The Hatan movie is a win. The Batman movie is a win. I mean, we can argue about it, but ultimately,
all night. But I don't care.
Aquaman.
I still get to go to a theater in 2022 and watch Batman on screen again. I'm not going to complain. I get to watch him again.
Aquaman 2 is a win.
That's my point.
They're all wins. The Flash movie is a win. But it's not a it's a win for us. It's not a win for anyone else. It's just that's the problem.
That's the problem. It's a win for everyone because you get to go watch these characters on screen. It's not a win for you or the other because either you want to connect it or you don't. That's the problem. Either you want to be a connected universe or you don't want to be one. That's DC's ultimate butthurt. They don't know what to do or how to put it together. And that's why, is it cool to see Batman in theaters? Absolutely. Do we know where it's going? Absolutely nowhere. But you know what? Absolutely.
I feel like you messed up the word and so you're just like, I got to continue on with it.
I did. They have no fucking Luke.
Okay, so moving backwards. We're going back to the article. So basically, they talked about why they're what they're moving forward with, and obviously that answer was directly only the case that we're going to move forward with the multiverse and whatever. They really want to move away from this whole idea. They shut down the air cut so fast that didn't even blink, which honestly,
at this point,
who cares? Sorry, it's just the truth. Who cares?
David Ayer, you kind of got your cut with Jared Leto's Joker and Justice League. That's probably more content you're going to get with that actor in Suicide Squad-esque territory.
Now, I kind of want to talk about
what you said about the fans.
Because
this was bad.
So I'm going to bring up a whole other situation. We're going to call Warner Brothers is doing a Star Wars. Can we do that? Can we just address it?
No, Jacob. DC is fucking up way more than Star Wars.
No. I'm
on the fan side.
No. The thing I mentioned is that when Star Wars decided not to do with Star Wars what we wanted, certain fans decide to be really, really mean. I am not saying there is not a toxic side to this fandom, to any fandom. There is.
Every fandom has it.
But it's a very, very small, little toxic. Yeah, every great person, there's like half a bad person. Yeah. Okay. So,
but almost half of bad persons got 3 people off of Twitter because of how mean and rude they were to them.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. The problem is that that's the problem. That is the problem. But you can't declare a whole fan base toxic.
No.
Star Wars did that. It never really worked out. Sure, they made $1 billion, but it never really worked out. DC cannot declare this whole fandom toxic because there's a group of people who are being really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. And I'm not trying to say that's it's really bad, okay? But you can't declare a whole fandom, and so it pisses me off when I see someone who is like
doesn't give 2 shits about what the fans say.
Who are just like, yeah, they're all toxic. Like, you can't just say that. But no. she did. Kathleen Kennedy did. And it pissed a lot of people off even more. And I'm sure this pissed a lot of people off even more.
I think what hurts more about this stuff is that, yes, some of the Snyder Cut fans are toxic. It's just, some of them are. But the basis around the whole Snyder Cut thing was to raise money for mental health awareness and suicidal prevention. And, it was a cause everybody wanted to get behind because they felt bad for Zack. It wasn't because, honestly, I really don't think it was because everybody wanted to see Justice League get made. They wanted Zack to get his redemption, to finish his vision off that, unfortunately, family circumstances negated him not to. And that's why Justice League to me is a beautiful film, because is it a great superhero film? Yes. Did the fans get what they wanted? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, when the credits roll, it's for his daughter. And that's what all the fans wanted, was for him to give something to his daughter after she died. So not all of them are bad. Not everybody in Star Wars is bad. I met great Star Wars people.
That's what I was trying to say.
I met great DC people.
Yeah.
But it feels like every time they get brought up, the only thing they ever mention is the bad part of it. They never mention the good part. It's yin and yang. There's good and there's bad. You have to mention both. And in that entire interview, not once does she mention the good part. She mentions the entirety of the bad part. And that takes away almost everything that they built. I'm about to cry. They took away everything that fandom built up for him and his daughter. And to me, that's really neat. I'm going to step away. That really hit me.
Yeah. All right, moving on. I'm a little done talking about DC.
Yeah.
So we're going to move over to Disney.
Go watch Justice League. It's a good movie.
We're going to talk about Disney. So Disney...
Is this even happier?
No. When do we ever talk about happy things?
Well, I mean, we got a confirmation release date that's solid there and done for her.
So Disney blinked again.
Which we knew this one was coming.
No, actually, I'm kind of mad. I'm a little.
The right to be mad.
I'm actually kind of real mad, not like a little mad.
I have nothing to say about this because I've been looking forward to this movie. He has been.
So I personally believe strongly. So Black Widow, which I think we all can agree is probably my most anticipated film of 2021. It was
2021.
You name it. I've been anticipating it for over 10 years. Since Black Widow showed up in Iron Man 2, I was like, damn, I need that movie. And it's been a long time coming. Still waiting.
I'm so happy I have to go to the theater and watch this with you.
Because
if it does not go the way you want it
no,
to.
I already declared that even if the movie is not as and it's real hyped in my brain, I just want to put that out there. Even if it doesn't reach its the highest of peaks, which I don't see how it wouldn't. The trailers have reached some. I'm sure the movie will.
Trailers, Jake. Trailers are really good sometimes.
But it's Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh in a single movie together. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's going to be perfect. Even if the movie isn't perfect. Like, even if we had this long conversation, Tucker's like, I really didn't like that. I'm going to look at him and say, I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm just really happy I got a Black Widow movie. The Suicide Squad. It could be horrible. The new one we're talking about could actually be horrible. But is Harley Quinn look phenomenal in it? Yes. Am I excited to see King Shark in live action? Yes. Is it going to be phenomenal because of those two reasons? Yes. You see my point here? I'm very single-minded.
Yeah, you are. So again, talk about why you're mad.
Because Black Widow, you could contest saying that there is no point to this since it takes place in 2016. Sad fun fact. There is a point. I just can't tell you because it's spoiler. But the actual movie, I can't promise there's a point to.
A movie with no point that you're looking forward to watching.
Hey, it's their fault for killing her in Endgame. Not my fault.
But it's a film with no point.
But there is a point. There is a very strong point. There's a very, very strong point I just cannot talk about because of spoilers.
Here's what I don't get.
But I haven't really. What are you doing?
I'm agreeing with you.
Why?
If they were going to do this in the get-go, just keep it in May, do the Disney Plus stake, and everybody will be happy.
I don't understand why they had to move it. Because if they're going to do a day-and-date release in Disney Plus and in theaters with Cruella and Black Widow, why not just keep it in May? My only speculation is that they're afraid that Marvel is going to be oversaturated by the time Black Widow comes out because there is no break in between WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It'd be March to June.
Yeah. That there's going to be no break in between the two, and so they wanted to move it so when Black Widow does come out, people are really excited because it's another Marvel project.
Disney, I'm going to let you know right now, no one would give a shit. They would go see your movie anyway.
Also, something else that came out, another little announcement. There's a lot of different things that they announced on this project. Once again, I think it didn't look that great, so I'm not really mad. But we're going to get there. We're not there yet.
Original film, straight to streaming service. I'm kidding. I'm done with that.
Well, really? My God, we're gonna move forward. So, basically, a few of the I'm really mad about this is because I'm really hoping Cinemark just caves and says, okay, because I really want to see this 1,000 times in theaters before I see it. No. We're holding out hope. Cruella, I get it. I'll wait the 3 months. I'm not paying the $30 for it. Sorry, unless it truly is a masterpiece.
Everyone says it's really.
I need a whole reception. I don't need one person. I need like 12 people tell them you have to watch it. Then I'll pay the $30 because I have more than one person.
If they say it's truly Disney's Joker, then you got my attention.
then I will watch it.
Absolutely.
And also something else they announced before when they were first announcing Mulan and the Disney Premier Access. They're saying you only had to pay $30 one time in any movie that popped up on Premier Access you already got. That was automatically with the subscription because you paid $30 extra dollars. That's no longer the case, which I get. They want to make more money. I personally think that they should have lowered this down to $20. Or if they believe like Cruella probably would not have made $1 billion. Maybe that should have been $20. And Black Widow could have been $30 because technically that makes sense. That would probably be $1 billion if we're looking at like box office like normal wise. Sure.
How would you be in this scenario? You're Scarlett Johansson. You look at Disney Plus. My film's $30. That means they care about it more. You're Emma Stone, who just had a kid, man, mind you, so she'll be out of work for a little bit. Sees Disney Plus with Cruella and says, "My film's $20. They don't care."
Well, that's no one's fault. Sorry, I don't have anything for you.
If the budgets are not the same, but if they're willing to spend the money on Cruella as much as they're willing to spend the money on Black Widow, I fully support the $30.
Yeah,
thing.
But I believe more people would buy Cruella for $30 if it was cheaper. I have a feeling a lot of people are not going to buy Cruella because it is $30.
I think
the reception out gate for Cruella is very not good. So
I think Disney Plus preview should be 25, not 30. I think you chuck off that $5, I think everybody would be happy because $25 usually pays for a 5-member family to go see a movie usually.
So yeah, that's why when I bought Raya, I was like, now Mulan was a mistake, but when I bought Raya,
in many ways.
But when I bought Raya, I was like, oh, we're probably gonna watch this like 5 or 6 times if we really like it. Or River would, my little sister. I think that she would watch it like 5 or 6 times.
You watched when you were sleeping?
Yeah, I know.
Raya and the Last Dragon. You know her character is now on Disney Plus? Sisu.
Yeah, I figured. So like that wasn't a bad purchase.
No, that's getting used.
But also, it did horrible at the box office, and I do have a feeling that's because Cinemark said no. I'm not gonna lie, because I think it could have been better. It could have done better, but it didn't. It's fine. We're moving on. So Cruella's gonna be headed there. Its dates stay the same. They're not changing anything. Why? Why move?
Why move Black? This is the biggest. I don't believe what you said is the truth.
It has to be the case.
No, there's no reason.
Well, I mean, that's the only reason I can truly come up with.
This is the first time
they also
ever in Marvel's thing with Disney
has
something consistently going on.
Also, there are cases resurging again for COVID across seas, so they could be worried that the box office by the time.
I think it'll be better in July.
Yeah, it could be better in July. Which
the week they have it out is July 4th.
Well, actually, it's the week after July 4th.
Close enough. July 4th is going to be butt shit crazy with going out.
No, what I'm trying to say is that they could believe that it's going to be better then, like in July, than it will be better in May. Not like the weekend of July, but like in general, like time will pass and so it'll be better.
To me,
that's what I mean.
To me personally, Hollywood's having a hard time. I'm not going to take anything away from that. You can't use COVID every time.
I mean, you can because it determines that people go see the movie.
For me, they kind of know how things are rolling now a little bit, especially when it comes to putting out film. There was, honest to God, no reason to move Black Widow. None. If there was,
I'm just trying to think of ideas. I'm saying if there was an idea, Zachary. I'm not saying these are the ideas. I'm saying if these could have been the ideas. Okay, we're moving forward. So, Black Widow got moved to July 9th, which moved Shang-Chi to September 6th, which is the worst release day I ever heard in my life. And the only thing I can come up with is that they have plans to put that on Disney Plus as well. It's simultaneous release. Unless the world is really better by then maybe not. But why else would you put it in September?
Worry you about Spider-Man now?
No, because they didn't move anything else. September 6th is a new date. They made this date for Shang-Chi. This was not an original Marvel date. So we're still getting Eternals and we're still getting Spider-Man at the same time. Spider-Man has to release in theaters. It cannot release on a streaming platform because it's partially owned by Sony.
And Sony won't have it. But
Sony won't have it and they don't have one.
Here's my thing when it comes to Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man.
Now, Eternals could possibly pop up on Disney Plus as a premiere access.
It goes September, you get the month break in October, and then November, December is Eternals and Spider-Man back to back. What is their reasoning of worrying about March, April, May, June? All the content's good. It's consistently good. There's not a problem. It only sucks if it's bad. That's
Zachary,
the whole point.
you just gotta get over this. Okay,
It's stupid.
we're moving on. You gotta get over it. Okay, another thing that
I'm coding for your film to get out sooner. You're telling me
it's not it's not happening, so I'm just moving on. Can we just agree that I'm moving on?
Yeah,
But now something else happened, and that is Luca, which I thought was pretty metacore. I just didn't really care for the trailer.
I'm going to judge Disney animated movies based off trailers because that's never the case.
I just really don't. The trailer did not vibe with me whatsoever.
I don't like the trailer for Raya at all. That movie's fucking great.
Oh, I love the trailers for Raya. Thought those were beautiful. Luca is beautiful. I'm not saying Luca's not pretty. The water's gorgeous. But I think the actual trailer itself and the story, I didn't care for.
It was also a teaser.
I didn't care for it. Doesn't matter. It didn't catch my attention, Zachary. And so it will be released at home for worldwide on June 18th. That was a choicey move.
Why?
Well, I don't know, because it's like another big pick. It's like another big movie, and then you just throw. I don't know. They did really well for Soul, so I can understand why they did it.
Clearly, Soul's up there, and the masses. Everywhere you look is Soul. Hey, Jake, look, there's Soul.
Now, another thing that Disney is probably thinking is that for the $30 you pay for Black Widow or Cruella, they get to keep it. 100%.
No.
Huh?
They don't get to keep it because if you unsubscribe from Disney.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Disney. Disney gets to keep that profit.
Yeah, they do.
Whereas you go to a movie theater chain, you don't get to keep that profit entirely, and it's all divided. Now Disney is pretty shady with that, but that's that point. So other things that have moved. Free Guy. Oh, it did not move in 2022. Good for them. Good for them.
This hurts me though. They don't give three shits about any of these movies.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And it hurts.
Yeah,
because they all look good.
Well, we don't know what Deep Water looks like, but
the other ones, minus Death in the Nile to me that day. But Free Guy and the Kingsman, they look great.
So Free Guy got moved from May 21st to which the only thing I can think of is they don't want Cruella to have any competition, but I don't
really would Free Guy be competition.
I don't think so, but that's the only thing
I think August is better for Free Guy. I think because August will be kind of empty.
So it got moved to August 13th. And that also is very funny because Ryan Reynolds' other movie was actually supposed to come out in August 13th as well. Has not moved. But he could have two movies debuting for two different complete companies the same day.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
Bodyguard?
Yeah. The Wife's Bodyguard or whatever.
Yeah.
The sequel.
Yeah.
Coming out the same day. Literally the same day. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is now moved to September 3rd. Once again, my best guess is that they're planning on doing the simultaneous release, but they're going to wait until...
Oh, so Black Widow took Shang-Chi's place?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why they...
Well, then I'm fine.
You make no sense to me. The Kingsman will never see the light of day.
That sucks.
Like, literally, if they get moved into 2022, it will be 3 years. 3 years of pushing.
Mm-hmm.
They should have just released it when they were going to.
Put it on Hulu. If it doesn't meet December,
I don't think they can.
They can.
No, I think it's actually in the contract so they cannot play it on streaming.
Disney's going to have a film on their vault.
The Kingsman got moved to December 22nd. That's a horrible release date. Deep Water got moved to January 4th.
Such a good release date for Kingsman.
It was. It really was.
Oh, that's so bad.
Deep Water got moved to January 14th. Which is supposed to be a awards contender, so that's not technically bad.
Really?
I highly doubt what.
Death of the Nile. Wow.
Death of the Nile got moved.
You got pushed.
Now, I'm pretty sure if there's anything in here that I can be pretty sure why they moved a movie, Death of the Nile surely got moved because of Armie Hammer. So,
sadistic fuck.
We don't know all the truths.
He ate somebody, Jay.
We don't know that for a fact. We don't know it for a fact. It's not good that everybody dropped him. Not good. Not the best look. But people are still buying this movie on iTunes. It's still been in the top 10. So people are still watching him. So that's good for his career. It's bad for right now, but it's good for his career. So, and it was really weird listening to a book, Call Me by Your Name, while they were talking about eating fruit. And he was declaring body parts as fruit. It was a little disturbing. Yeah.
Here you go. Call Me by Your Name. I bet the movie's awkward now, huh?
No, I still love it. It is what it is. He's a little weird. Also, Wounds. You guys should not watch Wounds. Don't watch Wounds. Don't watch Wounds. Did I say it enough? Don't
Hey,
watch
Jacob,
Wounds.
what shouldn't they watch?
Wounds.
Okay.
Okay.
One more time for the people.
Also, can we just talk about Luca Guadagnino and Timothy Chalamet making a movie about cannibalism? That's the same. That's the director of Calling by Your Name and his co-star making a movie about cannibalism, and the headline coming out 2 days after he was declared a cannibal.
The ironic mission of.
All right, moving on to more of the same. The franchising.
This shit's good.
It is real good.
This shit's real good.
You know, and I think me and Zach are on two different standpoints here. Just based on what you have said, this is you could have changed your mind. It's been a little bit. We watched it yesterday, so I loved the first episode. I thought it was great. All the nuances and all the little things I thought were perfect, which is what made it for me personally. Also, the comic book references are pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, really enjoy it. And every single time, they land. WandaVision didn't land. Falcon and Winter Soldier is landing. If you care about the material, it's landing. Episode 2, I thought was even better than episode 1. The jokes landed. The comic book references landed. Like, just Patriot, guys. Patriot. I didn't realize it. I had to go back and rewatch the whole episode, and I was like, oh my God, they're doing it. And I cannot wait. Young Avengers. They added a new one to the roster. It's exciting.
This is open discussion, correct?
Completely.
Are you talking about U.S. Agent's partner?
Nope.
Is there? Oh, the little black kid.
Nope.
Ooh, Jake.
Okay, when I can't think of his name. I was really hoping you could remember names, but why was I hoping for that? Sorry, Zachary, not to be that person. Hold on, I'll pull it up. When they go and see the other super soldier who was back in the 70s with his grandson, who's living with him, that's Patriot from Young Avengers. He ends up getting addicted to the super soldier serum. And
you don't have to look up anymore. I know what you're talking about.
That's a spoiler. Sorry. I am very sure that they are going to be they're using super soldier serums, such as steroids, though, based off some of the big reveals that are, if you know the comics, are big reveals.
Super soldier, the serum is going to be kind of like a drug problem in the show.
Yeah, like I said, like steroids. Like, it's addicting.
Because look at Harley. She's strong enough, but in order to keep that maintained, they have to constantly inject themselves with the serum.
Well, especially because based off of who they set up to be the bad guy for them specifically. If you know the comics, then it makes a lot of sense. But if you don't,
so here's my feeling on the show so far. Episode 1, ridiculously strong opening. The opening action sequence in episode 1 is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's a great Falcon. It's a great Falcon scene. We've had those in the movies, but it's cool to have just a Falcon scene in the show. I thought the Bucky stuff where dramatically it hit didn't keep me. Thought it was okay. Bucky's past. Unfortunately, that's the hard part.
Eli Bradley.
Huh?
Eli Bradley.
Thank you. What's harder for me over Falcon over Sam in this aspect is that Bucky's story it's been redundant now. Like, we know tragic past. Winter Soldier has a lot on his mind. They did in Winter Soldier. They did it in Civil War.
I don't know what you're talking about. You have time, Zachary.
It was mentioned again in Infinity War and in Civil War. It's always about the past. And I was really hoping that this show, specifically for Bucky, would kind of progressively move him forward. Yes, it still worries him, but it's still at the focal point of his personality. Like, I want to see Bucky like I do in the comics, where he's strong. He uses what was in his mind against him as a strength for him.
Maybe that's where they're headed.
I hope so, because I don't want this to be the Bucky character every time we see him. Where it's just
we're still 6 episodes.
I know, but I don't want this to be the Bucky character that we constantly have in the MCU, where he's just down, upset, always about this. I want him to get where Bucky wants to be, which is a strong, proud hero for what he's done for his country up to this point, because they respect from what he's done, not for what he did. I want him to get to that point. Now with Sam, the Sam stuff to me can either go one way. It can either go in a very strong political route, but it makes sense and it not be like oversaturated, or it can do what it did in episode 2. To me, I thought the entire cop scene in the episode 2. Now, I don't want to. It's political. I don't care. I thought it was too much. I think the scene should have stopped at a certain point, and it didn't. I understood what they were trying to do, but
hold on. Can I?
All led for a joke, and that's
No,
where
no.
I was upset.
Can I ask? What do you think they were trying to do?
They were trying to give off what's been going on in our world of anytime a cop sees a black guy confronting a white man, they instantly have to stop it.
Yeah.
As soon as the guy found out he was an Avenger, he stopped. And it all is for that joke. And for me...
No, that wasn't a joke. See, that's very interesting.
I found it as a joke.
So that's not... No. So their whole point of that whole entire scene was for that. For him saying, that's Falcon. He's an Avenger. Because a lot of people, a lot of mostly sports people, I'm going to be honest with you, have reported black sports people who are like football, sports. I don't know sports, but sports. I'm assuming
football, sports, sports.
The sports.
They throw the ball.
They catch the ball. They kick the ball. They hit the ball with the puck. I don't know. Is the puck is what you hit it with? I don't know.
Jacob's informal relation to sports is like a ball is involved.
My formal relation to sports is when I date them. Okay, not the sport itself, but the person playing it. Anyway. And then I learned a little bit, and then I got us checked. But a lot of people have been reporting how they get pulled over or they are having a conversation with a friend. It looks a little heated. The cop will come up to them. They'll start to do what the cop was doing. And then they'll be like, oh, you're from that person. And then they'll stop because he's a celebrity. But if he wasn't a celebrity, they wouldn't have stopped. That was the whole point of that scene.
I found it and the entire thing as a joke.
Well, that's the really interesting thing.
That's the brilliance of the show, in my opinion.
Is that honestly, I didn't think it went too far because that's something that's not talked about. It is talked about, but it's not talked about like in media where cops will, oh, I can't do this because you're famous.
That entire scene felt like a very political satire scene. And
it's very interesting.
And yes, did it make me laugh? Yeah, because it was funny when the cop said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're an Avenger." But when you sit there, like, I shouldn't have laughed at that. That wasn't funny at all. And that's the brilliance of the show. And that's why the political part of the MCU has always been my favorite thing. Winter Soldier, Civil War, anything involving that stuff fascinates me. And seeing it with these two specifically, and then the whole counteract with the U.S. agent and his partner. Whoo!
So I want to talk about something. Can we talk?
Let's talk, Jacob. Talk, buddy.
Can we talk about John Walker for a minute?
Oh my God!
I want to talk about John Walker
Let's talk about John Walker, Jake.
Okay, so when I watched it for the first time, I got a bad feeling about John Walker, but it was not confirmed until he said, "Don't step in my way.
Get the hell out of my way."
Yeah, say the hell out of my way.
Yeah.
It wasn't confirmed until that moment that I was like, okay. It wasn't until the second time, and it could have been because of that moment when I watched it again, because I always watch these twice if you didn't know.
Seems very antagonistical.
Everything he does
is off.
Is antagonistical. Like the whole fight on when they're sorry, we're not talking about episode 1, guys.
The biggest thing of episode 1, no offense to Bucky stuff, was seeing U.S. agent get the shield.
No, not to me. No.
That was very distraught.
That was not the biggest thing to me. The thing that hurt me, the thing that destroyed me. Yes, he should not have that fucking shield.
No, he should not.
It pisses me off. And which, to be honest, I think it pisses off Zachary more. Now it's going to piss me off more. But I didn't get that feeling.
I'll get to why it pisses me off when I see him with the shield now. Every time I hear that fucking Captain America music, I'm like, that's not your music, motherfucker.
No, yeah,
don't do that. No.
But what destroyed me was figuring out that the kid he shot was the man he was walking around with. That's what destroyed me.
Wait. The old man's the kid?
No, the old man, it's his son that he can't get over, that he can't.
Oh, I thought it was him.
No. The old, so,
I thought he got shot and survived.
No, he killed his son.
Oh, damn.
His mantle, the thing he prays towards, he killed his son. That's why he's on the list. So on Bucky's list, there's one side. Zemo's on that list, by the way, if you were wondering. There's one side.
What does he have regret against Zemo?
Obviously, Civil War, Zachary.
Yeah, but why does he feel regret to Zemo?
No, he doesn't feel regret. There's people he wants to take down. Zemo.
So is that why he wants to go to Zemo?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure he has another agenda in his mind.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's.
It's not for Sam's agenda. He wants to get his
No.
agenda.
I think it's both. I think it's more like let's get more answers, but also but also there's another page where it's people that he harmed, that he hurt in one way, shape, or form.
And that name is circled.
And the names are written, and he marks them off.
You can't tell him the truth.
And can't tell him the truth, and so that's why it's phenomenal. Oh, sorry. I just love me some.
But then we
Back to episode 2. So
John Walker, Jake.
John Walker. Sorry, we took a little detour. Fine. It's fine. When they're fighting on the train, not on the train, on the buses, trucks, whatever they're called. You know what I'm talking about. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. On the trucks, yeah, that's the word. When they're fighting on the trucks, and he throws them off, and he gives them that like, ha ha, like I caught you with the shield. Like they're play fighting. He doesn't care. It's not like he feels like there's anything going on.
Would you be shocked that there were cameras around him filming him while he was doing this shit?
Like when he shows up, it's like, oh, I'm gonna land like a superhero. I'm playing superhero.
When he comes to the police station, what's the first thing he does? Sign autographs, get pictures with the kids.
No, it's also like, oh, who did this? That was me.
And then, again, with the whole racial point of the show, making his sidekick black.
Which is in the comics.
It's accurate.
It's comics
accurate. It adds more meaning to the show.
But also him saying, I
wish I had Steve Wingman on my side. So was that last line?
It's just it's really great. I think the commentary is really great. I also wanna
also the Isaiah scene.
So that's where I was going to.
Nuts.
So Isaiah, I had not realized when I watched it for the first time who Isaiah was.
Before we get into this, who do you think he was talking about before we went?
Wait.
Who did you?
No, I didn't know.
You didn't honestly have an idea.
But I have to say because I am a sucker for my Young Avengers, as this is the answer here. I think the payoff here was phenomenal.
The payoff's going to be great by the end of the series if his son.
Well, no. I think because WandaVision is a great example where they're talking about a character that we're going to go see, and then it's like a super scientist.
This led to something.
This was a moment like Carl Lumbly playing one by, who is a famous actor, phenomenal actor. He's played in a lot of different things. Playing this character. And then having me knowing that this is Isaiah Bradley, which is Eli Bradley. He's not the best dude because of the things that happened to him, like because the world was horrible to him. So if you don't know the story or whatever, I'm going to go into a little. Zachary was asking questions about the other night. So I'm assuming a lot of people don't know. So basically what happened when Cap went down in the Hydra and he submerged in the ice. Thank you. In the ice. They started to experiment again on people for the Winter Soldier Serum.
The Super Soldier Serum.
I'm not with words today. I'm very sorry. But there's a Super Soldier Serum. They started to experiment, but they only experimented on black people. That's it. They would go and they would snag them off the street, and they would bring them in, and they would inject them, and if they died, they died.
God, that's just...
yeah, no, I agree.
Man. Even S.H.I.E.L.D. back then, even before the whole Hydra nonsense.
And he was one of the ones.
Bookie didn't want to tell Steve.
And he was one of the ones that survived.
What if Stark's dad was involved?
I wouldn't put it against it. He was one of the ones that survived. So he went off, and they didn't talk about him. They didn't mention him. He went off. He saved a whole bunch of people in the war. Yeah, I think that was added for like the TV show, but I would love to see that scene.
I would love to see a flashback scene of that happen. That'd be dope.
But they didn't have enough time, which is probably why we didn't get to see it. It doesn't matter.
Flashback maybe.
I want. No, we already did that. I don't want to become a formula.
Okay.
I don't want it. I want be its own.
And yet you love the flashback scenario. Anyway,
I hate the fucking flashback scenario.
Back to Isaiah Bradley.
Sorry,
Patriot.
And then you have his grandson, Eli Bradley, which I think it's his grandson.
His grandson, yeah. I looked into it. It's grandson.
Eli Bradley, who is the Patriot, who is only put on the team because he believes that he needs to be as strong as his grandfather is, and so he injects himself over and over again with the serum, becoming addicted to it. It's a whole storyline. It's beautiful. It's great. And then you see him, and he's in the. And so we have another. I get really, really excited about these things, guys. And also to mention that the company that they're running around for, like they're stealing the medicine from, that company's mentioned like 3 or 4 times. That is the company that is financing John Walker, by the way, if you did not know. That is also, and I'm not going to spoil who the people are, that Carly Morgenthau, which, by the way, is a Marvel character, gender bended. It's Carl Morgenthau in the comics. He is a villain.
Jacob's loving Falcon Winter Soldier.
I am. I have to say these Disney Plus shows are not disappointing me.
And that's why, honestly, of the 3 that we're getting, that's why I'm so nervous about Loki.
No, Loki looks phenomenal.
I'm genuinely nervous about it because, unlike with this one and the other one, this is solely relying on Loki.
Also,
you can only do so much Loki for so long.
No, they're also having the time stuff, which is going to be really cool. But also, with WandaVision, I think a big problem with WandaVision, that the only big thing that came out of it was Scarlet Witch, White Vision, and the children.
Which the children
are not here yet, but they're coming. It's whatever.
I think Agatha was a pretty big thing. Looking forward to the magical parts of it.
My point being is that there wasn't really. It didn't do any. It was like a side story. It's like a little thing over there.
I'm sorry. Would you say it was empty?
No. No. Stop that, you asshole. Whereas I feel like just with these 2, with specifically this last episode, they put forward a lot of things that in the future, not important now, but in like
down the line,
2 years from now for MCU stuff, very important.
I think you and I put it the best way last night. WandaVision felt like a TV show. Falcon and Winter Soldier feels like a MCU movie just extended.
Yeah.
There was a joke post earlier today that, the Russo was like, since Zack Snyder releases Justice League, we'll release our 6-hour cut of Avengers Endgame. And I'm like, listen, we're getting 6-hour cuts of these movies in episode form. So, I mean, like, we're kind of getting what they're talking about. And that's what it is. And that's why I think Falcon Winter Soldier for right now, for me personally, is working so strongly in just in these 2 episodes that it feels like a cohesive story. Whereas WandaVision, where I loved it, was much like Wanda and Vision, all over the place.
It really was. Yes.
It wasn't until the latter half of the series to where it started getting, typical MC formulaic thing. And I think Paul Bettany put it best in the behind the scenes stuff for WandaVision. Like the beginning of the series, it's character development. You're getting all this great character development for these characters. By the end of the series, you get to your typical MCU extravaganza and battle. Whereas with Falcon Winter Soldier, I think where it's better is that it's using character development while still giving us the MCU typical formula that we know, and it's working.
I do have to say, for Falcon and Winter Soldier, I hope going forward, not that I don't mind character development and, comedy and stuff, I wouldn't mind one or more than one action sequence per episode.
If they're that good, I'm fine.
Because, like, for instance, this episode's action sequence did not, blow me away.
Like the first one?
Like the opening one. Because Sebastian Stan's action sequence in the first episode was very short, so
it was still cool.
It was cool, but it wasn't like I wanted more. I should say that's the key word. I wanted more.
This is also everybody's favorite kind of combat in the MCU. Is this more grounded, realistic? Really, really hardcore punch kind of thing.
And I really want more of I want Bucky to be used better. I'm just gonna say it. I want Sam, great, doing great.
We're on the same page then. You want Buck to be in the action part, and I want him to get over his feelings.
No, we're not on the same page. I like Bucky and his feelings. Besides the point. That takes growth, Zachary. I just want them to use him better in his action. I also don't want him...
Instead of hanging from a truck saying, man, that girl beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was funny, but, in the long run, I would rather him be doing more things.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
But here's the best thing. You know what I don't want to do right now? Theorize and speculate.
Not at all.
I'm just ready for the next one.
I do have one theory. And now, this has nothing to do with overall. This is just for the next episode. Mm-hmm. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. That's the fun thing
part.
for Zemo. I don't think they're going to talk to him. I think they're going to go break him out. That's my theory. I'm putting it out there right now.
I really sincerely hope you're wrong.
How else would he get out? How else?
Maybe the Flag Smashers get him
Nope.
out.
Nope.
I don't know.
I feel like because
do you really think Bucky and
no,
Sam would take
this
out
is what I think is gonna.
Cap's sworn enemy?
This is what I think is gonna happen. They're gonna go in there and he's gonna be like, I do know, but I can't tell you. But if you
like
what?
Magneto in Days of Future Past, they need to get him out in order to do the thing.
Yeah, precisely.
Now here's my
No, I don't think he's gonna be like a hero. I
No,
think he will be a villain.
Here's my big thing. I think by the end of the series, we are gonna see. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they could have before his contract ended, possibly. I think we're gonna see Old Man Steve.
I don't know.
One time, I think it'll be at the ceremony when Sam takes the shield. I think it'd be beautiful. It'd be poetic to see Bucky and Steve sitting next to each other.
I would say
with
also
Sharon by his side, sitting there watching Sam officially take the shield. I think it'd be a beautiful thing.
I think one of the other problems I've had so far with Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's fine. I get it. He's a overarching. It's just
this
like
is Spider-Man, I think for
precisely, and which is fine. I like it in Spider-Man. I like it here. It's not a problem. It's just their best friend.
They say Steve a lot.
It's their best friend.
I know.
Also, I do love the fact they want to get the shield back, and they also want to figure out the super soldier serum, not just because it's a threat to the world, but because they don't want to ruin what his image was.
What his legacy is. And I love that conversation on the plane. Let's just steal the show for ourselves. Do you really want to do it? The last time we did it, they branded Sharon an enemy of the state and me and Cap on the run for 2 years. I don't think it went well that last time.
But with the shield, my biggest problem is we do know they get it back.
Yeah. And also John's really fucking good with it too.
Yeah, he is. Also, we do know they get it back.
We don't know how.
We don't know how. We just know they do get it back.
Maybe Sam steals the shield and just uses it. There's a possibility with that.
Or it is a flashback and he's throwing it around. I
don't know.
I don't know.
The shield, honestly, that's the biggest question of the entire show. Whose arm will it land back on the next time it's thrown? Will it be John? Will it be Sam? Will it be Bucky? Or for God's sakes, how fucking cool would it be if he just comes in and goes, no. There you go. Old man out. How fucking cool would that be?
Alrighty, I think we've been talking about this enough. We'll be back next week for another one. Obviously, we have other things to talk about, but we're covering the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
you skipped what we've been watching.
We're gonna do movie commentaries first, and then we'll go into what we've been watching.
First off, I just want to say, this has been really fun. I love doing this with you guys, and getting the movie commentaries. I want to get this out of the way first, let them know what's going on. I just want them to have that heads up, knowing that No,
we can add some up later, Zachary. It doesn't have to be.
It makes me feel better.
Okay.
On May 20th, I'm having surgery on my foot. It is a 2-month procedure for recovery afterwards.
I was like, he's going to be under for 2 months, guys.
It's a long process. My foot's fucked up. No, but it's a 2-month recovery. So due to that nature, April and May will be the last 2 months of this season for Weekend Movie Bros involving commentary and podcast. In doing so, we had a plan for April, but it's kind of changed. And now Jacob will explain the changes that we have made.
So originally, when Zachary wasn't having surgery, and we were going to be doing movie commentaries, we were originally going to cut down movie commentaries to 2 a month. April was going to be the first testing month of it. We were going to watch 2 horrible films.
One you already know about.
One you already know about, and then one you didn't know about that we were still discussing at the time. Mm-hmm. We decided, obviously, to go back on that. We are now going to pick movies that we really wanted to watch as a movie commentary. Now, there is an exception. We are watching 2 horrible films right back to back. So on the 29th, which should already be up, I'm assuming by the time this goes, or the 28th, sorry, today's 3 a.m. On the 29th, this evening that we're recording this on the Sunday, March 28th, we're going to be watching Justice League. So Yay, I guess. And then on Thursday, after my very, very, very long day, I'm coming home and we're watching the greatest film of all time, The Happening. It's our April Fool's joke. I'm very excited about it. We've been talking about this for months. We've been waiting. We couldn't go back on it. If we hadn't explicitly mentioned it over and over again,
we would have made it a real April Fool's joke and said it was The Happening, and you got to watch the commentary, and it's the exact opposite movie. But we're committed.
It's like The Happening's the poster, but the April Fool's joke is like we watched The Conjuring.
That is an April Fool's joke. You fool me.
Precisely. And make him pay for it and everything. But
I think we secretly do it, like you put your car on Amazon, like here, just click it. I'll take it off. So it's The Happening, right? Yes, The Happening. Click. You'd be laughing over there. Show it to mom.
So, but instead, so we're watching. Huh?
Be a cruel joke.
It's not happening. It's fine. We're watching The Happening.
It's not happening because we're watching The Happening.
Sadly. So we're gonna watch The Happening, and then the rest of April, which is 4 weeks, he's gonna pick a movie. I'm gonna pick a movie. We're both gonna pick 2 movies. The same thing goes for May. The first 2 weeks of May, we're gonna go back and forth. And that's how this is gonna work. And that's just simply because we have movies that we really want to watch with you. We also have a few other fun things that if they come to fruition, they'll come to fruition. If they don't, they don't. So we'll wait and see. But yeah.
I'd also like to say on the count of future projects or projects that are still going on on the channel, I want to deeply apologize for the lack of Superman and Lois content. I have been trying my best to find a good time to watch this stuff, and I just haven't found the time. I have watched episodes 2 through 3. I have 4 and 5 to watch, and I will be doing just a mass review of all of them up to this point because the stories from what I've been watching so far connect very well. It'll be an easy through-line story to review. Needless to say, short. Show's great. Loving it. Definitely going to finish it in May when it comes back.
Next thing is what have we been watching?
Speaking of, you want to go first?
Sure. I don't know what I watched.
Well, Jacob, there's a small thing that we watched. I don't know if you remember or not. It was a couple days ago. Kind of a small thing.
Small.
It was really easy to get through. It only took till 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I did watch that. I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's a relatively small indie. I can't do it.
I thought it was fine. No, it was a masterpiece. Then I watched it again and I was like, you're still a masterpiece. And that was the opinion I had for that. I also watched some Grey's Anatomy, which no one's shocked about. I watched a lot of Big Bang Theory. Oh, wow, I did watch a lot of Big Bang Theory. It's a little weird.
3 weeks we haven't been on, Jacob. How much of Big Bang Theory have you watched? Tell the audience.
Like 3 seasons, which are all 24 episodes long, so it's a lot of Big Bang Theory. I don't know. Maybe I should watch Big Bang Theory before I go to bed tonight.
I'll watch a couple episodes with you.
No, bad idea. Let's veto.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's veto that. We're watching Nailed It, which has been a tremendous experience.
Tell them the joke we heard.
It's only funny when it was pretty great.
It was really good.
It was pretty freaking great. That's for sure. We started Invincible.
If you don't care about baking, go watch Nailed It just for the comedy.
We started Invincible, which to be honest with you, I really didn't like the pilot until the end. And then I was like, damn, okay, I'll watch you. I'm trying to.
Any movies, Jake? You slept through one.
Oh, then I chose, since this was my week to choose.
This was the funniest part about it.
This is my week. I was really tired.
Yeah, you were.
It wasn't the movie. I was enjoying the movie. It was not the movie itself. I chose, actually, it was my third choice. My third choice was Lego Movie Part 2 because I really, really, really wanted to watch it. I watched maybe the first 30 minutes.
You got to Apocalypseburg and you knocked out.
I did, yeah. I think it was around. No.
It was right after the star got thrown into the wall.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I got all the way up to the point where they got into the galaxy and they got through the song.
Oh yeah, you fell asleep during the first song.
The second song.
That evil.
Yeah, I fell asleep. Relative.
You missed the best song in the movie.
And then I got to see him interact with himself.
But you missed the best song in the movie. I won't tell you what it is, but it's the best song in the movie.
Either way, and what I saw of it, I really liked.
We also watched another small indie movie on Disney Plus. You bought it.
Oh, I did see Raya and the Last Dragon. Actually, I've seen Raya and the Last Dragon now 4 times. So yeah, I can say I like that one as well.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
growing
but
on me.
Raya and the Last Dragon was great. I very much like it. Highly recommend. But try to stay away from things because the more you know, it's not as fun.
Especially if you know more about the dragon part of it.
Or the trailers.
Yeah, it really ruins the movie.
It's just not as fun.
No.
But that's price point.
Can I ask you a question? I really asked you a question about Raya specifically. Now that you've seen it, would you go watch that movie in a theater at all? Or do you think it was fine just being where you watched it?
No, I would totally go see it in the theater.
I was just curious.
No, yeah. It wasn't like Tom and Jerry where I was like, damn, I wish I would have watched that one at home. I saw Tom and Jerry.
Oh crap! Really? You saw that? You saw Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh my god, I did watch Judas and the Black Messiah. That was phenomenal.
What else have you seen, Jacob? It's been a while.
That was phenomenal. I don't know. What else have I seen, Zachary? Nomadland. I saw Nomadland. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Is there the WandaVision?
We talked about WandaVision.
Yeah, but you saw that since last time we were here.
I mean, I have. That's true.
Numerous times.
Numerous. I think I've seen WandaVision as many times. I think I've seen Civil War, which is a lot. So gotta say, if we could just pick one episode of WandaVision and say that's my new favorite MCU thing in the world, that final episode would be that thing.
You watch Batman Beyond?
Begrudgingly. Anything else?
Is that all you've seen? I think there's.
Oh, right. I started American Paradise. That's called.
Oh, the one on Amazon.
Yeah, on Amazon. Paradise City. Thank you. I got 3 episodes in that. I really like it. I'm gonna finish it. It's questionable, but it's fun. It's not fun.
How's your boy in it?
My boy. I don't have a boy.
Boys.
Oh, he's doing phenomenal. I can't complain.
All right. Well,
Zachary, what about you? Oh, it's gonna add up.
Pretty much everything that you said, I have seen. However, I want to reiterate one of them a little bit. Not the one you're thinking of either. Invincible.
That's what I was thinking of.
Whereas you thought the episode was boring, needless to say, to the end of the episode.
Truly, though.
You can ask my brother the entire time, but particularly when they get to the end, my hands were in the air like I just didn't care. I was so happy because if you know the book, it's my favorite Kirkman book of his runs. The ending to issue 1, you don't see coming. It's a lot to handle, and a lot of people go.
Zachary, tread carefully.
It was beautiful. It was everything I wanted. The one thing I could change in that entire show, no offense to my good old friend JK, but he's not Omni-Man. I really liked him. It's my one part I do not like. When I hear him, I don't hear evil. I've seen Whiplash. He can get evil. But there is a certain scene in this book that when we get to it, I really, really, really need him to go into it. And but Stephen Young as Mark, we get to meet the girl in the next episode. I won't say who it is, but she is. It's one of my favorite relationships in comic books ever. I'm so excited to see them together.
Zachary, tread carefully.
I'm so excited. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Needless to say, more. I've seen it more of the 2 of us. I've watched it twice with you, but then I also watched Justice is Gray. Make jokes about that all day because that's just. I understand that's how he filmed it and that's how he wanted to be treated.
That's how he watched it for so many years. That's why it's a big deal.
The color, taking away the color from that movie. Woo!
Now, I do have a question. If you didn't have the color at all, would it have been a different experience?
No, I probably would still like the movie as much. I mean, because that would be the version I would watch, and I would be fine with it.
And then you would get the version with color.
Then it'd be hard to go to the colored one because it'd be so ingrained with that one.
See, that's how Zack Snyder feels.
I've watched the colored version twice now, so I'm more ingrained with the visual style of that.
I got it. Okay.
But still, it's still fun to watch anyway. Easiest 4 hours every time. Never bored. We watched Raya and the Last Dragon. Didn't like it as much the first time. Really enjoyed it the second time. And River's third time wanting to watch it. Love that movie now. That movie's funny. That movie's just downright funny from beginning to end. There is not a dull scene in that entire movie. And that dragon, whoo! Oh, I was so worried about Aquafina. Fucking great.
Why were you worried about Aquafina?
Because I was worried about her dry humor not working well with a Disney movie.
What? I'm just gonna move on from that comment.
It's just me.
Just gonna move on.
Comedy is hit and miss with me, and that's fine. But I think she worked great in the movie. She worked really, really well in the movie. Let's see, what else have I watched? Currently going through Gargoyles right now on Disney Plus. Really old adult Disney show that Disney didn't know what they had. It's a lot to handle. Finished DuckTales. Finally, I watched the series finale. Made me cry. It's one of the best cartoons Disney's ever done. Watched Batman v Superman prior to watching Justice League. Ultimate Cut. And then at Jake's begrudgingly behavior, one night after we were done doing everything, I sat up and watched Batman v Superman theatrical on my phone. And Jacob, you're going to be very happy to hear this. Buddy, you're right. Whereas I love what the Ultimate Cut is, after watching that numerous times going back to the original cut, the mystery of that movie is so much stronger because you legit just don't know what Lex is going to do, and it makes it more interesting to watch. However, there are some shots from the Ultimate Cut I wish were in the other one, but I can go watch the Ultimate Cut now. Regardless of that, it's still a fun time. It worked. And honestly, it flows better in the Justice League than the Ultimate Cut one honestly does. Star Trek Discovery has become a favorite thing of mine. Love Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, Zachary, what about your medical?
Oh, boy. So, in the past 2 weeks, I have watched we'll get my numbers right. No, 3 seasons of ER from 5 to 7. And let me tell you, we missed good TV, didn't we?
No, I don't think ER is good TV, Zachary.
No, but we missed a great era of television. Like, like when Law and Order was really coming into its own,
Kinda.
ER was the first real medical drama before Grey's Anatomy came out. It established that kind of fandom for that kind of stuff.
For sure.
And, George Clooney, he's a damn good actor.
He is a damn good actor.
I haven't really watched anything that really shows his emotions, but he's fucking great. I haven't seen his emotions.
What movies have you seen with George? The Batman movie. That must be it.
I've seen Oceans 11, 12, and 13.
Wow. You just picked You just picked the movies that you're just like, well, that looks like it's going to be a fun time. Pick the sad one, Zachary.
He's a great dramatic actor. He's really good.
Yes, go watch The Sentence. You'll think he's a great dramatic actor.
I don't want to think it's a sad movie.
It's a very... Wow. You mean sadness goes with dramatic? Who would have thunk it?
Let's see. Watched Joker. One night because I was just really down. And
yes, that brings so many smiles.
It did, actually.
Well, that's just... I mean, I laughed through it, so...
Yeah.
I guess...
I think it's one of the funniest movies you've ever seen.
No, I just think it's funny. I don't think it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Let's see what else.
It's okay. That's it.
I am halfway through Superman the Animated Series Season 1. I'm really enjoying that. More so than Batman, which I don't think would be the case. But Batman is just dreary. I needed some light in my life, and Superman's been that light. It's been nice. Getting some good Superman stuff. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and do your thing.
As always, keep up with us. We'll be back, unfortunately, tonight to watch that movie. We'll be back later down the line for movie commentaries, broadcasts, all that kind of stuff. Like, rate, subscribe, follow us over there for all the Golden Globe coverage over the past month. Also, Oscars, we will talk about when we come back. We will not be doing we might do audio stuff, maybe.
Well, actually, I'll look up when the Oscars are, and that will determine on if we're going to cover it.
We might do a live stream of the Oscars and just watch it.
No.
That'd be fun.
No. The Oscars, the cool thing about awards ceremonies and stuff is that's all audio stuff. So that's if you listen to us directly, that's what you get.
We could do a live stream audio commentary.
Zachary, just stop it.
Yeah.
Just move on.
Thanks, guys. We've missed you. You're